Before we get into everything, I wanted to share something with you guys that kind of shows that there are other people, even in California, of all places, there are other people out there who get it. I received an email this morning from a viewer, and it's one of the better emails that I've ever received. Sunday, we talked about Inglewood High School beating the hell out of their rival, Morningside, 106 to nothing. The coach at Inglewood was being blasted by the local media and by the opposing head coach for running up the score. Now, me personally, I had the viewpoint that if anyone were to be blamed, it was the coach at Morningside for allowing his team to be embarrassed because they were unprepared. You get beat 106 to nothing, you're unprepared. A parent at Inglewood High School reached out to me, thanking me for defending the program. She said it felt great to know that someone else actually understands the game of football. Now, I don't want to reveal her identity, but I can promise her there are a lot of us who feel the same way that I do. She sent me pictures of her son who plays for the team, so I just wanted to take a second to wish her kid and the rest of Inglewood the best of luck this season. I hope they take it all the way. And don't let off the gas because your opponents catch hurt feelings. All right, let's get into it. I was actually going to get to this story yesterday, but I kind of lost interest in it. We don't talk much about tennis or rugby here on the channel. And this story, even though it's really big in England right now, it's not really all that big here in the States. It's not gaining much traction. So I was just going to leave it alone. But the more I read about Eddie Jones and these bullshit attacks social justice warriors are leveling his way, I just couldn't let it go. Eddie Jones is a legend in rugby. He's a former player. He is the coach of the England national team. Then we have Emma Raducanu. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing her name. She's actually the victim in all of this. Eddie Jones is the victim too, but Emma Raducanu, she's actually a victim in all this too. She is being used by social justice warriors to promote one of their favorite causes: feminism, misogyny, gender bias. Emma Raducanu is a kid, and I don't mean that in a demeaning sense. She is very accomplished, huge star in tennis at the age of 18. But at 18 or 19 years old, no matter how accomplished you are, you're still a kid. I don't blame her for what's going on with Eddie Jones right now. Matter of fact, I don't think she has said anything publicly about this. Let me tell you what went down. Marcus Smith is a rising rugby star in England. He's young, 22 years old. His coach, Eddie Jones, gave him what I would call sound advice. When you achieve a level of fame and notoriety at a young age, it is difficult to keep your feet on the ground and your head from not floating into the sky. Keeping your head in the game. Hell, it's difficult to do that as an adult, but it can be easier with the maturity that you gain as you get older. Eddie Jones told Marcus Smith that he needed to be careful. Don't get distracted by your success. He referenced Emma Raducanu. Here's what he said, verbatim, quote, "There is a reason why the young girl who won the US Open hasn't done so well afterwards. What have you seen her on? The front page of Vogue and Harper's Bazaar or whatever, wearing Christian Dior clothes," end quote. It's not difficult to understand what Eddie Jones is trying to say here. He's telling Marcus Smith to not let his success go to his head. That's what us normal people would take from a statement like that. But if you're woke, this is blatant sexism. Oh, the sexism. This bastard hates women. British tennis star Jo Dury was pissed off with Eddie Jones's comments. She started off by saying Emma Raducanu is not a girl, she is a woman. Okay, all right. Just so we're clear, because these damn rules, they're constantly changing, but now it is not politically correct to label someone walking around with a vagina in their pants a girl. You must call them a woman, you sexist asshole. What the hell is wrong with calling a young girl a young girl? That's what she is. She's 18, 19 years old. Young girl, young woman. What the hell's the difference? Jo Dury went on to claim that people don't attack male athletes for being involved in endorsement deals or activities outside of their primary sport. Obviously, she doesn't pay attention. She's got to be out of her mind. Where should I begin with this? Why don't we start with Baker Mayfield? His second year in the NFL, when both he and the Browns struggled because they were being coached by Freddie Kitchens, a dude who had no business watching the NFL, much less coaching an NFL team. But that season, Baker Mayfield was relentlessly criticized for being focused on anything but football. He had commercials airing 24 hours a day. Critics, myself included, were saying that Baker Mayfield was more concerned with being a celebrity than an efficient NFL quarterback. It's the exact thing Eddie Jones is trying to prevent for Marcus Smith. Michael Jordan, another example. He was criticized for golfing and gambling. I remember one of their playoff series against the Knicks in the mid 90s. The media blasted Michael Jordan for going to Atlantic City to gamble and not returning to New York until like 2 a.m. the day of a game. Johnny Manziel, he was criticized for his constant partying, which ended up derailing his NFL career. Tiger Woods, another one. He was blasted for his sexcapades. Russell Westbrook, he has been criticized numerous times for his fashion choices. This notion that male athletes aren't criticized is bullshit. If anything, men are criticized far more often than women in sports, mainly due to the fact that male athletes generally have higher profiles. They're more well known. No one gives a shit if Sue Bird is out partying before the WNBA finals. No one's watching the game anyway. So if Sue Bird is seen out partying the night before Game 7, no one's going to care because they're not aware that Game 7's even going to be played the next day. There are others who are blasting Eddie Jones, claiming that he doesn't think women should have outside endorsements or be involved in anything other than their primary sport. But that's not what he was saying. Remove Emma Raducanu from the equation. Insert Tiger Woods. You can make the same case. Once Tiger Woods went through that scandal and all the distractions that came along with it, he was never the same golfer. This is not about sexism or misogyny. All Eddie Jones was trying to do was help a young rugby player who was becoming a star, warning him not to let outside distractions derail his promising career. That's it. Of course, with the woke, these disgusting excuses for human beings, you are not allowed to give sound advice. You are not allowed to use a woman as an example as to what can happen when you get distracted. No one knows the rules anymore. Social justice warriors don't know the rules, and they're the ones that are coming up with them. This fake outrage towards Eddie Jones is absolutely ridiculous. The message is that women are supposed to focus on one thing and men can have multiple outside interests. That was not the message. No one gives a shit if Emma Raducanu has endorsement deals. I don't care if she's on the cover of Vogue. Eddie Jones doesn't care either. No one cares. Besides the social justice warriors. Any little thing, they pounce on it. They turn it into an issue. If it's not about diversity, it's about misogyny. If it's not about misogyny, it's about inclusion. If it's not about inclusion, it's about these trigger words that offend them. These people are deranged. You can't say girl. Can't say him when you see a man with a beard dressed like a woman. Can't say her when you see a woman dressed as a dude. Can't say this, can't say that. What the hell can you say? I don't know anymore. I hope Eddie Jones stands his ground. Do not apologize for this. I don't believe he was trying to denigrate or attack Emma Raducanu. He simply used her as an example, which I guess now is a crime worthy of cancellation. All right, let me know what you guys think of this fake outrage directed towards Eddie Jones. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.